And how do we experience God? Well, this beautiful passage from Whispers from Eternity is a clear indication of how we can accomplish that end. By loving everybody, by being even-minded, by giving more than we receive. These things are all vitally important to our spiritual growth. As we heard, as I read to you from affirmations, many people think that because God is inside and we only want to please God and everything outside is delusion, therefore it's delusion to try to please other people. And of course it is if you're trying to please their egos in order to be flattered by yourself. But if you try to help other people, if you try to love them and give them kindness, this is a part of understanding that God is everywhere. God is not only inside yourself, He's everywhere. This is a lesson that Sri Yukteswar taught Master in the autobiography of a yogi. So we must understand, first of all, that if you want to really abide in God, you must follow certain basic rules. One is to be even-minded and cheerful. Nothing should take you out of your inner center. How can you do that? By remembering that life is a pendulum. All creation was founded on the principle of Dvaita. As the ocean creates waves by rising and falling, the surface rises, and every rising wave doesn't change the level of the ocean. It has to have a corresponding trough somewhere, somehow. When I was in Hilo, Hawaii, many years ago, someone told me, before the great tsunami that came and really caused great devastation, the ocean was taken way out, and people just thought, oh, how wonderful. And they went out and they found all these mussels and oysters and things. They were getting these from the bed, which had been exposed, when all of a sudden the wave came crashing in. What goes down must come up, what goes up must come down. And if you understand that all your successes, all your fulfillments, everything in this world, you will have to, as I was saying yesterday, you will have to experience the opposite. You finally reach the point where you understand that I'm going to remain at my own center and not let anything affect me outwardly. You will enjoy pain, a pleasure, but certainly you will also enjoy pain in the sense that it teaches you important lessons. You know, when you go to a movie, and you may see terrible things happening in the movie, people being killed, people being frightened, and yet you may come out of that movie, if it's a good movie, saying, I learned a lot from that movie. Can't you do the same with life? Whenever you go through hard experiences, just see, what is the lesson in this? God never wants to punish you, but in every down there is a lesson. You know, that song of mine, I Live Without Fear, it's one of my favorite songs. And it was written as a result of somebody who came to me and spent at least an hour telling me what a complete waste my life was. And I didn't bother to answer him. I just listened. And when he finished, I thanked him, and he left. But then I wrote this song, Though green summer fade and winter draw near, my Lord, in your presence, I live without fear. You don't have to worry whether people hate you or praise you. You don't have to worry if things go well or go badly. If you remain steadfastly centered in your own heart, then nothing can touch you. Don't let anything affect you inwardly. If people praise you, say, well, God is the doer. If they blame you, thank them. If they insult you, thank them. If they try to hurt you, thank them. Don't get angry or upset, because you will find that the more you just allow everything that comes to you, what comes of itself, let it come. And that means the bad things as well as the good. When we can accept everything that comes as a blessing from God, we find that all that happens is really it's a sign of His grace. And we think during our down periods in life, and certainly I've been through my share. But I have also learned from them. At first I suffered greatly. But then Ananda Ma sent me a note, a message, saying, take this as your Guru's grace, my dismissal from SRF. It was extremely painful to me. And I thought, grace? That's the one word I cannot accept. But I found in time that it was true. That it was my Guru's grace. He was taking me out of a situation in which I could never have served him the way he told me to serve him. He wanted me to write books. I could never have had the time to write books, and I would never have had those books printed or published. He told me to lecture. I had to worry about, as long as I was there, being reported and being told I shouldn't say this or that. I could talk freely when I was on my own, according to my own inspiration. He told me to edit. How could I edit anything when there was a superior editor? Taramata, who edited the autobiography and did a wonderful job, nonetheless she had a certain attitude that was a little arrogant and peremptory, and it came out in her. She said to me laughingly one time, even when he was William the Conqueror, Yogananda didn't know English. Okay, English didn't exist when William the Conqueror. He helped to create the English language by coming to England. It was an absurd thing to say, but this is what ego can do. And she said to me one time regarding his other books, like the Gita and the Bible and others, she said they don't need any more books. What do they need with more books? So instead of doing the job he had given her to do, she meddled in everybody else's job. So she was the main person who threw me out, and I don't feel any great need to be tactful about her. But I have to say that she did me the greatest favor she could possibly have done. So I'm grateful. Well, none of this would have happened if it hadn't been for that. Well, I also, however, have, as I said yesterday, a basically very enthusiastic nature. When I don't mean Hollywood type of enthusiasm, but when I believe in something, I want everyone to know it. And I remember writing Daya Mata many years ago, and long before I was thrown out. I said, you can give me any job you like. You can have me cleaning toilets. But I can assure you that if I do clean toilets, within a few months, everybody will want to clean toilets. It's just the way I'm made, and I can't even help it, so why not go with it? I would have made it the definition of service. The important thing is that we be even-minded and at the same time not apathetic but cheerful.